Hi guys. Well, this is the way of the world right now, so we're going to do a little bit of a video class here for my performance class. First of all, I'd like to say I miss you guys very much, and hopefully this thing will get cleared up soon so we can all be together again safely. One important thing that I'll mention before we even start all this is some health. Don't forget, every time you touch a doorknob, you're exposing yourself to germs. Every time you touch a car doorknob, make sure you're washing your hands really well, and not just for 5 seconds, with soap for at least 20 to 25 seconds in warm, sudsy water. Also, we want to bring that into our vocal health. Vocal health, once again, wearing a scarf when it's cold out, not screaming, not whispering, really taking care of our voice. And if we feel our voice is getting fatigued, maybe drinking some warm tea. I like a tea called Throat Coat that you can buy at the one of the stores down here. I'll think of it in a minute. But anyway, it's called Throat Coat tea. I love that. Also, drinking water that's room temperature is really, really good for that. And vocal rest. When you feel tired in your voice, vocal rest. So we're going to talk about some breathing techniques today. We talked about it a little bit in class, but I'm also going to show you the sternum is here, right in this pig's jaw on my sweatshirt. And then my belly button is here. And right in between that is a dome-shaped muscle called the diaphragm. When we breathe in, that muscle goes down, and when we release the breath, the muscle goes back in. So at home, I want you to practice with that dome shape in front of a mirror, breathing in, making that dome shape go down, and exhaling and breathing, making that dome shape go up. So that is one out of the 3 breathing exercises we'll be talking about today. The second is called 4-point TVA breathing. And this is what I want you to do at home to practice. I want you to kneel on the ground on your hands and knees with your knees about hip width apart. And I want you to keep your head and spine in line with your hips. So if I was going to show you, I'll go on my piano bench. It would kind of look like this. I'm kneeling. I don't know if you guys can see it. My legs are hip width apart, and I'm just kneeling up. Kind of hard to show you here. Oops. I'm back. All right, let's move this out of the way. Hi. Okay, so that's one. You're going to inhale through your nose, and you're going to push that belly towards the ground without moving your spine. You're going to hold your breath for 2 seconds, and then you're going to exhale through your mouth, and you'll push your belly towards your spine. And what I want you to do is perform 2 sets, 10 to 20 breaths. So if I can show you here, maybe I can show you. I think I can. No, I can't. All right, let's go down here. So what we're gonna do, I think I can show you. There we go, perfect. So we'll be with our knees hip width apart, and you can see my diaphragm here, obviously. We're going to breathe in through my nose and push my belly towards the ground without moving my spine. So if you saw, my belly expanded, but it also pushed towards the ground. I'm going to hold for 2 seconds, and then I'm going to exhale through my mouth, pushing my belly towards my spine. So and you can do it with a SH. You can do it with a hissing sound like a snake. Anything that allows that breath to come out really slowly. And I want you to practice that several times. They're saying here 10 to 20 breaths. So that should take you a good, 5 minutes. So once again, let me fix this. Kneeling on the ground. Legs separated, that hip width distance apart. Breathing in and allowing that air to really fill that belly up with a nice slow breath, holding for 2 seconds, and then exhale very, very slowly. And try that at least 10 times. So that is called 4-point TVA breathing. The next thing I want you to practice after that, maybe another day, maybe you're tired, because this stuff is a physical exercise. We've talked about this before. Vocalizing is a physical exercise. Whether you're breathing, singing, speaking, it is a physical exercise. Our anterior and posterior fascia stretch. You're going to stand with your legs about shoulder width apart and raise your arms over your head, pushing your pelvis forward, inhaling deeply through the nose. And then when you exhale, you'll bend your torso and do a forward fold, exhaling through your mouth. And I think I can show you this. So here we go. I'm going to breathe in. And on my exhale, I just forward fold. And what that does is it empties out the belly, but if you can, keep a little bit of reserve air in there because you don't want to totally be empty of air, especially when you're singing. You want a little bit of reserve. So practice that. Once again, when you're in that forward fold, make sure you're rolling up one vertebrae at a time. The head is the last thing to come up, or otherwise you're going to get a little bit dizzy. And you'll start from the same position again and maybe repeat that 5 to 7 times. So that's another kind of breathing you can practice. Breathing is the key. It's not the full key though. The full key would be the breath and utilizing that breath to the capability of the best way to exit the breath without losing too much too fast. Also having a relaxed jaw and a relaxed throat. So before we get started, let's do a little bit of warming up. So I want you to stand maybe in front of a mirror and roll your shoulders back a couple times just to loosen up this area where we tend to hold tension, and maybe roll our shoulders forward. And we're going to roll our head around to the left, to the right, and just let it hang like a bowling ball. Then we're going to breathe in through our nose and give us a nice body stretch. And then we'll just release our arms just down to our sides, picking up the shoulders and then just releasing them. So what I'm doing here is building tension, and then I'm creating a big release. I'm also going to take my fingers and massage my jaw. And remember, smiling takes the most muscles of any body part in the body. So smiling is good. It always tells our audience we're happy to be there, obviously. So smiling is good, but we want to make sure that this jaw is completely relaxed. So this is what I'm doing, okay? All right, so let's warm up. So one of our warm-ups will be da 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 da. Sing with me. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. 2 more. Da 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 da. Nice and easy. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. 2 more. Da 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 da. Last one. Da 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 da. Nice and easy. So that shouldn't have been hard. The tongue is on the roof of the mouth. Da da da. Okay? And when we say da and bring our mouth down, our tongue should be relaxed in our mouth, not tense. Very nice. Our next exercise is ha, 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 This is the one we've talked about before, that we see that expansion in our belly. And I'll stand up a little bit and maybe you can see mine. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. You get the idea. Ha, 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 ha. Good. Notice the tongue is nice and relaxed. Two more. Nice and relaxed. Back down. Last one. Nice. This is a little endurance exercise. So endurance is building up our strength. So like if you think of a runner running 1 mile one day, maybe the next day they run 5 miles, and maybe the next day they run 10. This is the same idea. So we're going to go. So 3 times. Then we'll graduate to 4 and then 5. So as we get to the 5th time, obviously you need to take more breath in and let a little bit of breath out at a time. Looks like my glasses are crooked. Here we go. One more. Down to 4. And to 5. Yes, and I had a little bit of reserve left, but definitely very difficult. So when you're doing this, obviously you're not guiding like I am and talking in between. You're really concentrating on that nice deep inhale and letting just a little air at a time. 2 ways to envision that is the candle, the imaginary candle in front of you, that is just flickering with our breath, not totally going out. Another way to envision that is maybe a balloon that has a tiny little hole in it and it's kind of moving around the room. It's a helium balloon. It's just moving around the room. So you can envision either way. So let's recap what we've done so far. We've talked about some breathing techniques. One was the dome shape in between the sternum and the belly button. That's our diaphragm. Practice breathing in, moving our hands down, and exhale, breathing up. So we have a visual of what the diaphragm looks like. The second one is called 4-point TVA breathing, and that's when we're kneeling on our knees. Our knees and legs are hip width distance apart, keeping our head and spine and hips all aligned. We're breathing in through our nose, pushing our belly toward the ground. As we breathe in, hold for 2 seconds, exhale, pushing the belly up towards the spine, and we'll perform like 10 to 20 breaths that way. The next one we talked about in the last breathing technique is called anterior and posterior fasciae stretch. And that's when we stand with our legs shoulder width apart, breathing in through the nose, the arms rise up, make sure we don't have any tension in our shoulders, and exhale, forward fold. Breathe in. And exhale, forward fold. Remembering each time you come up, to come up with your head being the last thing to come up. Otherwise, you'll make yourself a little bit dizzy, and I don't want that. All right, so this is a nice picture here of the diaphragm that we talked about. If everybody can see that. So I want you to have a nice visual of that, okay? All right, so the songs we were working on were Shallow, and I have some exciting announcements. Where is it? So our soloist for Shallow will be Emily. You'll get the high part and also the oh, that part. And Beth, you're also going to get the other high part, the first high part. For our low singers, our verse singers, it will be Ruby and Sana. So congratulations to the 4 of you. As we get closer to the show, hopefully we get out of this, out of this whole predicament of the coronavirus, and we can meet again. And if we do, we will go through that. So my soloists, once again, Sana will go first. Tell Me Something Girl. Ruby will be Tell Me Something Boy, the second verse. And Emily will have the second high part and going into the improv part. And Beth will have the first high part. So I'm really, really happy to announce that. So I'm just going to play the song so you guys can practice at home. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this will be our intro. And Sana, you will start. Tell me something, girl. Keep going. nervous now. Yay. All right. So a couple things. Opportunity will be, if I record for next week, we'll be going over that. So make sure that you listen to that. Obviously, we really can't have auditions, but we're still going to learn the song. So it'll be fun. So listen to that. Opportunity by Sia or from Annie. Also, before we say goodbye, I just wanted to talk a couple minutes about overcoming stage fright. A couple little tips to think about on our way out. Don't get too self-absorbed. Put aside personal concerns and concentrate on the actual music. Let the music be your center. And the music is bigger than all of us. So a true artist has an almost reverent respect for this particular art form. And if you let music fill your mind and spirit, you won't be able to develop that bad of a case of nerves. With that being said, it's normal to be nervous, okay, to get on stage. It's normal. So make sure you think about that. Also, you might want to talk about or think about the 5 senses. And we spoke about this in class. Maybe 5 things you can smell, 5 things you can see, 5 things you can touch, 5 things you can hear, and so forth and so on. And that will get your mind into the present moment. Also, relax. It's easier said than done. How do we relax? One way we do is how we warmed up. We relaxed the jaw. We relaxed. We did some breathing exercises all the way down to the diaphragm instead of the chest, which tends to make you nervous. Okay, so these are things we can do. Warm up your voice. If you're not warmed up, yes, you are going to be nervous. You're going to experience stage fright for sure. So you want to warm up your voice just like we did for about 5 or 10 minutes. Embrace the edge. Whenever we get nervous, we get what's called an adrenaline rush, and we can associate that with stage fright. But we can also put that into a positive way, not a negative one. Welcome the rush in. And I think we spoke about this as well. Don't fight it. Let it happen. It's normal. No, it's normal. It's normal for your hands to get sweaty when you're nervous. It's normal for your mouth to get dry. It's normal for you to be a little nauseous. So eat a light meal. Do things that are smart when you're preparing for an audition or a show. Also, obviously, goes without saying, be prepared. Always be prepared. Know your lines inside and out. Maybe print them out. Maybe write them out if that helps you memorize your lines. It's always important to be prepared. So I hope everybody stays really safe over the next couple weeks. I'll be thinking about you. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at laurensings.com, L-A-U-R-E-N, the @ symbol, LAURENSINGS.com. If you have any questions or concerns, you're welcome to email me there and I'll get right back to you. You guys have a safe journey and take care. Bye-bye.